I have, and a lot of that comes from feeling like I can't speak my whole truth or experience, feeling like if I was going through something dangerous, traumatic, violating, that there wouldn't be space for that because other people are going through their own humiliating, dehumanizing, dangerous situations. And there is this feeling of like triggering each other's trauma, and so having to take my trauma somewhere else where it wouldn't like touch the people who are hurting like me. And even when that flips, and I can talk about, these things happen to us, these horrible things happen to us, it ends up being just, bonding over trauma, right? And I think about being a part of any community feels like it's a community that I want to be engaged in as the entirety of my being, entirety of emotional ranges, right? It feels like the only emotional range allowed is I'm this numb, stoic, look at me, don't look at me, or this like these horrible things happen, I want to convince you these happened. And it's interesting how much isn't believed, right? Because if we're all experiencing, and we talk about statistics, and you talk about different cross-sections, who's been at danger, who's been killed, right? But then you go and tell someone this happened to you, and well, that couldn't possibly be true. How could that possibly be true? You're 6 feet tall, you command so much space. Why would anyone try to come at you? Why would anyone try to hurt you? And they did, and they do. And I'm not allowed to talk about it, because I should be able to safely navigate, not provoke any fear in other people, not be harmed, So that sucks, because I'm harmed, and if I say I've been harmed, it's like, well, prove it, because I'm already proving it in all these other places. I just disappear, right? So being a part of a community while disappearing in it, it's not really community, and I can check the same boxes as other people, but I don't feel like I'm with the people. Like, I think as a community it'd be great if we came together and had these conversations and, risked hurting each other's feelings, risked hurting our own feelings, and that vulnerability. All these things sound really great, but we usually, I can't always meet other people in places that I haven't met myself just yet. So as a community, there is this like individual work that people could consider doing, right? To confront your own shit, your own bias, even just take 2 of this, seeing myself speaking in a way that isn't actually aligned with me. So calling myself out in that, it's like being able to pause and be like, hey, I've got definitely some anti-Black racism to confronting myself. I definitely have some like ableist, classist belief systems that have been conditioned to engage in. And when that comes into community, we're all affected by these like huge systems of oppression, of marginalization, of harming, of killing. But we're not willing to, so I'm queer and that's enough, I'm queer and that's enough, and I'm not gonna look at the rest, so I'm gonna come into community and we all have these cross-sections of experiences that block us from connecting from each other and aren't willing to do the individual work of like, this is why we're blocked, like why am I not believed when something horrible happens? I think often the way I treat myself and I'm treated and treat other people has a lot to do with not wanting to confront the ugly, not wanting to confront the ugly, not wanting to own that there's so much ugly in us, individually, and so much ugly that makes us human and beautiful. Anyone in any community can struggle to connect if you're not looking at yourself.